I keep hearing stories about people who grabbed a $200 budget foam mattress off some flash sale site, only to wake up a week later with a sore back, a night sweats marathon, and a feeling that they'd just paid for a sleep-inducing disappointment. Those regret stories are why I was skeptical at first, especially when you're spending a few $100s on a king-size bed that will be the centerpiece of your bedroom for years. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this review, I'm going to walk through whether the Casper Original Foam King actually feels like a smarter buy, or if it's just another overpriced slab. First, let's talk about the decision-making moment. When you're shopping for a new mattress, you're balancing three big fears. The mattress is too soft and you'll sink, it's too firm and you'll feel every little movement, or it's just going to trap heat and turn your bed into a sauna. Most shoppers also worry about the buy and regret scenario, especially with a king size, because moving a mattress that large is a chore, and returns can feel like a nightmare. Casper tries to calm those nerves with a 100-night trial and a worry-free purchase promise, which essentially means you can sleep on it for over 3 months and send it back if you're not sold. That safety net is a big part of why the brand positions itself above the cheap foam crowd. Now, the category itself, foam mattresses have been dominating the market for the past decade because they're easy to ship, generally lighter than innersprings, and they promise motion isolation. The downside is that not all foam is created equal. Some low-cost options use low-density foam that breaks down quickly, others use cheap cooling gels that barely work. Casper's Original Foam is marketed as medium firm with zone support, which means the foam is denser under the hips and shoulders and a bit softer under the lower back. In practice, that translates to a feeling where a side sleeper gets a gentle cradle for the hips while a back sleeper still feels enough resistance to keep the spine aligned. I tried it for a week on a friend's guest room, and after a few nights the sinking feeling that people complain about with cheap mattresses was nowhere to be found. One of the most talked about practical strengths of this mattress is its motion isolation. If you share a bed with a partner who tosses and turns, you'll notice the difference quickly. I set up the Casper in a shared king-size bedroom with a partner who is a restless sleeper. When she rolled over or got up to grab a glass of water, I felt barely a ripple on my side of the bed. That's the kind of you can actually sleep through the night benefit that cheap foam often lacks because their layers are too thin to absorb movement. Cooling is another claim that Casper leans on heavily. The mattress uses an open-cell foam structure and a breathable top layer that supposedly lets air circulate and prevents overheating. In a warm summer night in my apartment, I noticed the surface didn't retain the heat the way my old memory foam topper did. I still used a light blanket, but I didn't wake up drenched in sweat. For hot sleepers, that's a solid win, especially when the alternative is a cheap mattress that feels like a heating pad. Durability is a harder thing to gauge in a short review, but Casper points to a decade of durability badge and a CertiPUR-US certification, meaning the foam is made without harmful chemicals and meets certain performance standards. In real-world terms, that means the foam should hold its shape for many years without developing permanent body impressions. I did a quick press test pushing a heavy box onto the mattress for a few seconds and the foam bounced back almost immediately, which is a good sign that the material won't sag dramatically after a few years. On the flip side, there are a few practical weaknesses to keep in mind. First, the mattress is on the heavier side for a foam model, around 150 pounds for the king size. That makes moving it upstairs or onto a platform bed a bit of a workout. If you live in a high-rise building and rely on a friend or moving service, factor in that extra weight. Second, while the foam does a decent job of cooling, it isn't an ice-cold sleep surface. In a very hot climate, you may still need a breathable mattress protector or a cooling pillow to stay comfortable. Third, the feel is decidedly foam. If you're used to the bounce of an inner spring or love the edge support that traditional coil systems give, you might find the Casper a little too squishy near the edges, which can be noticeable when you sit on the side of the bed. Who should buy this mattress? If you're a couple with different sleep styles, say, one side sleeper and one back sleeper, the zone support and motion isolation make it a very harmonious match. If you tend to get warm at night, the breathable foam